Mm. Hey y'all, welcome to the Devon A. Morris Unfiltered Call-In Show. Have a seat. Let's get ready. You have any questions? Come on, call in. Come on to that Discord channel. Do me a favor, get the unfiltered crew some finger snaps. We're ready to get started here. Mondays, 8 p.m. Every single Monday, we're here. I'm excited about it. Are you? Let's get this show started, y'all. The greatest Scrum show on earth. I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy. Everybody, hello. Welcome to the Devon A. Morris Unfiltered Call-In Show, where we talk about Agile, Scrum, entrepreneurship, whatever it is you want to talk about. It is a call-in show, so you are welcome. You are very much welcome to call in, right? For everybody out there, if you first time you're here, hey, drop a message in the chat. If you've been around before, you know what to do. Just say hi to me. I just want to see if the gang is here. Just for those who are brand new to this, have never been here before, what happens? Well, all that really happens is we just kind of answer questions, and we'll answer questions based on you either calling in, I guess it's not the cell phone. Anyway, I'm thinking about a landline, right? You're gonna either call in or you're gonna type something in the chat, right? And let me know what your questions are. Now, really, I start getting into questions about 15 to 20 minutes after the hour. Because we normally talk about a topic first, and today, our topic is lack of skills, lack of experience, and talking about how to deal with that. Because we all have been in that position before where we've had some lack of skills, some lack of something. So let me get some shouts here. Let's see. Julio, how are you? Patrick, welcome as usual. Thank you for supporting. Miss Hancock, how are you? You got people showing up, right? So this is a good thing. Whether you're on LinkedIn or you are on YouTube. For those that are on YouTube or haven't joined the YouTube, like and subscribe, please. It ultimately helps the channel out. Last week, we got 500 subscribers. Woo! Yeah. Getting to 500 subscribers was a big deal. It was a huge deal. I was happy. And you know what? The person that was the 500 person sub, she let me know. She said, "Hey, I'm the 5." I was like, "Okay, yeah, this is good." She wrote in the comments, so that was a good thing. So I'm loving it. And we're we'll build it more and more over time. Hello, welcome, Jennifer. So let's start the conversation. Last week I had a certified Scrum practitioner, professional, I should say, and I had 3 wonderful ladies in there with me, and one of them complained about me not sending out emails to Bearded Eagle alumni sooner. I'm sorry if I don't send out emails sooner. I just figure it happens every Monday, so you should know if you're interested, right? But we do have people that will show up and come in and phone us and call in. So let's talk about what's been going on. Let's see, what do I have coming up? I don't even know what I have coming up. I had to push out my actual CSPO. There was this upcoming weekend because I thought I had to go to Chicago, but I got some other things I got to do. And then next weekend is going to be a weekend CSM, and then we got a 4-day CSPO, and then some stuff happening in June. So just things happening here and there, right? Hey, Jackie, how you doing? So we're making sure we are, we keep the classes going. We keep doing our thing. We keep making it happen. I'm going to make sure that I schedule a CSPSM and a CSPPO because people are asking me about it. So I'm going to work on that this week as I kind of close out classes, or at least this quarter, for my program. So what else has been happening? Hopefully you all have had an amazing week. I've been busy. I've been so busy with school. It's been ridiculous. And then I've been traveling because I got a young lady up in Chicago that's doing this whole school thing. And, last week was like literally the big announcement at IU. You probably saw me with a Hoosier Daddy shirt on. So I had that last week. We had some good people show up last week to the show as well. So that's a good thing. So All right, so here's the deal. Let's go ahead and start talking about our topic. Let's jump right into our topic because I believe it is really, really important. I believe every single one of us have at some point experienced I don't have the knowledge, the skills, or the abilities, right? And I just call those KSAs, right? KSAs, the knowledge, skills, or abilities. And I could, just kind of put experience to the side of that if you want to call that out separately. But the knowledge, skills, and abilities is what I'm talking about here. And the way I've always looked at it is the question is, what is your goal, right? So I'm going to start off there. What kind of goals do you actually have? When I was talking to people last week in the professional class that we had, they told me what their goals were, and I gave them some tips on how to go about achieving those goals because I understand, hey, here's where you want to go, here's where you are currently, there's a gap. So if you feel like you have a lack of skills, a lack of experience, you don't have some of the knowledge, skills, and abilities, then what you should do is you should do some gap analysis initially and identify your strengths and your weaknesses, right? Because I love to do stuff that I love to do. And so I love to do things that I'm strong at doing. I mean, it just fits naturally. When it's not that way, then I'm having some emotional things that are going on that cause me a little bit extra work to be able to do those things. Call it emotional labor, call it whatever you want to, but I have experienced that. So I like to sit in my sweet spot. So I try to make sure I understand what I'm really strong at and what I'm not strong at. And when I understand what I'm strong at, my strengths and my weaknesses, that is going to help me. Now, here's the deal. Understanding what you're strong at is amazing. It's a good thing. That's what you should do, right? But somewhere in the sky, there's some place that you see that you're trying to get to. And I don't know what that is for you, but maybe you should identify this, right? And I said in this, on this show before, that what you should be thinking about doing is not thinking about your next move. You should be thinking about the move after the next move. Does that make sense? Let me try that again. So you start thinking about where you want to go, but don't stop there. What's the move after that move is the question, right? Because, you're going to get to this place, right? But what you always want to do is have that next place. So, and then whatever you're getting to here aligns with that next place you're going after there. Does that make sense? Makes sense. I see somebody wrote Impostor Syndrome. Madigan, yes. I suffered through it. I was actually having a conversation with people last week about it, right? Let me bring that up real quick, right? Understanding your strengths and weaknesses is important. Impostor syndrome is real, okay? Now look at me, y'all. I'm a certified Scrum trainer. I've been training the Scrum classes since 2013. Now, as I mentioned to my peeps last week that was in class with me, I was nervous about that class. It was really the first time I was taking people through the certified Scrum professional. First time I'm performing a class. And you get that. You get that thing that's happening in the back of your mind, right? You get that thing that's going on that says maybe you don't have enough. Maybe you don't have enough skills. Maybe you may not answer the question in the right way, right? And I was nervous. I'm gonna be truthful. I was very nervous. I was very, very, very nervous, right? And so I go through it. I literally go through it over and over and over again. And we all experience it. No matter what level you're at, I believe that's one of the experiences that you're naturally going to have. But as I said to them, as I'm going to say to you, you got it. You got it, right? And I always have to make sure I recognize, at least for myself, that I know what I'm weak at, but they don't know what I'm weak at. Does that make sense? I may know what I'm weak at, but they don't know what I'm weak at. So anything that I'm weak at, I'll just find a way to work around it. Does that make sense? But imposter syndrome is real, right? So when you identify those strengths and weaknesses, you do have that, right? But I want you to make sure you consider that second step that we just talked about. Don't think about that goal of where you want to achieve. I get that. That's your next step. That's what you're trying to do. You want to think about what the 2 steps ahead. What's the thing after that thing that you're trying to achieve? So you can make sure those things align, right? Hey, Sharon, how you doing? Making sure those things aligned are very important, right? So I want you to start thinking about both of them, because whether it's a job, let's just say it's a particular job. You know what the next job is, and then you know what the next job is after that, right? Then you could at least get the requirements associated with that job, right? And that will spell out to you and say, boom, 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 boom. These are the things that I likely will have. I go do some research on those things and determine, a 70% commonality amongst those things, right? And then I make that my goal between the next step and the step after the next step, right? Goal number 1, goal number 2, but you got to be 2 steps ahead, right? 2 logical steps ahead. So if it was, I want to become a certified Scrum trainer, or I want to become a certified team coach, enterprise coach. I want to be, I want to join the International Coaching Federation, right? I want to be an MMA guy, right? Whatever it is, right? Whatever those things are, determine what they are, because your skills and your weaknesses that you currently have and where you want to go and where you want to go after that place will give you the gaps, will identify, will show you those gaps, right? And it's those gaps that you got to be worried about, because the gaps are how you go about achieving. You got to fill those gaps. You got to do the things it's going to take to make those gaps work out for you in some kind of way. Now, if I'm you, I would find someone that is in that position, that is playing that role, that's playing that role you want to get to and the role after that. I go have a conversation with one of them. Now, I'm not going to ask them to be my mentor. I'm not going to ask them for very much. Can I get 30 minutes of your time? 15 minutes of your time, right? Because what I want to figure out is, really, is it all what it's cracked up to be? Are they happy doing what they do? Do they really like what they do? I don't know. But I want to learn that. I want to find out about that, right? Because that will give me some insight if I'm really going to like it, right? And I might get a few people that I can talk to, and then I would make sure that I address this. Now, if you're inside of a company, you got supervisors and you got managers and you got a whole chain of people if you're inside of a company, right? If you're not inside a company, you got LinkedIn, man. You have LinkedIn. You have these social media platforms, right? You got all kinds of ways to reach out to people that we have never had the ability to reach out to before. Not in the same manner. Not in the same manner. So I want you to identify some of those people, right? And I want you to start reaching out to them. And I guarantee you, if they don't respond, hey, man, so what? So what, right? You weren't going to talk to them anyway, okay? But if they do respond and just give you a little bit of time, give you a little bit of advice, I would go for it. I would go after it. I would take the risk, right? So I will say to you all, I got some people here in LinkedIn. I got some people right there on YouTube. Here's what I want you to type in the chat for me, right? Just one thing to type in the chat for me, right? Because I think you need to understand this. I want you to type and acknowledge, and I need you to say, type in the chat, I am worth the risk. Let me repeat that, because I need you to type it in the chat for me. I am worth the risk. Does that make sense? Because you got to take that risk. You got to put yourself out there. Closed mouths just don't get fed is what my grandmother used to say, right? So are you going to take that risk? Are you going to bet a little bit of money on yourself? I'm not talking about physical money, right? But you need to bet a little bit. You need to take a little risk for you. For you. I'm not saying take risk for me. I'm saying take risk for you. Because you taking risk for you is what make it worth it. You never know. Somebody at a company that you want to be at reaches out, you reach out to them and say, hey, I'm interested in joining this company. They may say, hey, you know what? Hey, I'll talk to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to be worth it. And you have to make sure that you understand that you are worth it. You are definitely worth that. That's the best way to put it, right? I'm answering the call here on the phone, and whoever's joining or phoning in right now, please know that we're putting you in the green room, and we'll be with you in a few minutes, okay? All right, so that being said, what else do I want to say about this? You know, it's easy for me to say to identify somebody, but I also want you to find ways to educate yourself, find ways to skill up, right? Find ways to get that knowledge, man. You know, right now, man, literally, I got just a ton of books sitting around. I kid you not. I literally am not joking you. I got tons of books sitting around me, right? I literally got tons of books just sitting around me right now, right? Because I'm like, you know, I need to look into this one more time, right? I was grabbing this just to kind of look at it, the Mythical Man Month, right? Just something I wanted to take a look at and peruse it a little bit, right? You know, some things I don't always remember. So I go back. I love books. I love books because it allows me to learn from other people's mistakes. I mean, you know, there's such a plethora of knowledge inside of books, and books just ain't that expensive. You get some used books for all I know. Because the way I look at it, most knowledge ain't new knowledge. Most knowledge ain't new knowledge. You know, so it's a retread of something else that already existed. So locate training opportunities. Locate educational opportunities. Figure out some of the things that you can read, some of the things that you can do to boost yourself and move yourself forward. That's what you want to be able to do. If you can do that to help you fill that gap, that will be a plus. Because I'm going to tell you next to make sure you make a plan. Make sure you make some plan that you can hold yourself accountable to. Understand my statement. Make some plan that you can hold yourself accountable to. I would love for that plan to be something that you can time box, make small little iterative, steps towards your goal. That would be what I would recommend. Use Scrum to help you get there. You feel me? A lot of you all in here know Scrum, right? Use Scrum. Use little time boxes to help you get there. But I want you to create some time box plan. Some time box plan is really, really important. It'll be super important for you to do that. Be all right with people giving you criticism, even though it may not be the best, even though sometimes it may not be warranted, even though sometimes you may not want to hear it. Just hear that criticism and figure out if there's some of that criticism that you can take and deal with. Sometimes it's not anything you can deal with, but if there's something of value that you can kind of pull out of that so you can move forward, I definitely would do that if I'm you. I would also join any professional groups that exist. If there was a group associated with my expertise, I would join that group. So for example, if you're a project manager, you should be a member of PMI, right? If you're an engineer, you should be a member of some engineering organization, right? So for me, I'm always promoting professional groups because a lot of times they have educational opportunities as well. And those are places where you can network, meet people, and just kind of go and take it from there. Other than that, I think that's all that I really want to say about that topic, right? Again, if you have a lack of skills, lack of experience, understand your gaps. Well, learn your strengths and weaknesses. Understand where you're trying to currently go, but make sure you plan for the step after that. So I always say do 2 steps ahead, right? Make sure you understand the gap that exists. You understand the gap that exists, that's a plus. Then you want to start to identify people that may be there, that could mentor you, that maybe can give you some advice, and start trying to identify those people while in parallel, you're looking for learning opportunities, right? Opportunities to gain the knowledge, the skills, if you have the ability to be able to do that. And then last but not least, just make sure that you create some time box plan. The time box plan is really important because that's going to help you hold yourself accountable to moving forward. So make sure you do that. And again, be open to criticism. Be open to running into a bunch of people that don't know what they're talking about. You're worth it. Recognize you're worth it. Keep saying you're worth it. And then we'll go from there. Okay? So on that note, that's all we're going to say about this topic. We are opening the lines for you to go ahead and join us if you want to just go ahead and join us. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the actual I always, for some strange reason, I get the show started, then I'm over here working and I didn't grab the link. I'm going to grab the link and I'm going to drop the link in 2 places. I'm going to drop it on YouTube real quick. So you are definitely welcome to join us. We already got to have somebody in the queue. And then, just join that link and I'll let you in from the green room. Or you are welcome to just drop your question in the chat. Just drop your question in the chat, okay? We are already good, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start bringing on our guest here. Let's see. All right, people, this is always a good thing. Let's go ahead and do this, and then let's go ahead here. Sequoia, are you there? I see that you're muted. Can you hear us? Guest has muted themselves. So I don't know if you're joining us to join us or if you have a question, but if you do have a question, I need you to unmute yourself so you can ask your question. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. We'll see if she comes on, right? Let's see. Let's go ahead and pull you back. Let's see. Let's return you back to the green room. Okay, so maybe she's trying to join us, maybe not. I don't know. But if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. If she comes back and comes back in, then I'll go ahead and pull her in. Any of you all are welcome to join us on the show. And then if there's no questions as usual, I'll just go ahead and drop and we'll get out here early today. I don't mind that either. I'm here to serve you. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve you, make sure you all are good. I'm over here spilling water on myself, which is cool because I like to drink water. All right, so one more time. Let me double check the green room and see. Unfortunately, I can't go have a side conversation with the green room. It doesn't work that way. So let me go ahead and let's see if this guest is here. Let's see. How you doing there? I'm going to assume that you're not trying to get on. So if you are trying to get on, then I'm going to say call back. Okay? Call back. Let's go ahead and hang that up. All right. So again, the lines are open. Please drop your questions if you have any of them, and then we'll go from there. I'm over here just messing around with the screen so that I can get us back to where we need to get to. I'm looking over there. I don't see my, I'm just looking at my background here because my background is what it is, right? Okay. Mendoza has a question here. Let's talk about it. What is the best advice? Let me go ahead and do everybody a favor here. You can see this, can't you? We can all see that, right? Okay, so let's take this question and take a look at it real quick, okay? What is the best advice if you have a Scrum Master who acts like a project manager? Let me just put it to you this way, and I'm going to make it real simple. I have someone who's joining the show in just a minute, but let me answer your question before we go back. I'm going to say this to you. Let me be Devon for a second here. Not the certified Scrum trainer, okay? If you have somebody that's acting like a project manager, they may not be trained well. It could be a role that doesn't really work for them. Being a servant leader may not work well for them. I always say give people opportunities. So try to address it with them in some kind of way that's non-threatening, one-on-one. Try to offer advice. That's if you can. If you don't have no power to do anything, you may just have to let them do what they do. Because we always talk about how we want to get everybody to act right and do right in Scrum, but that's just not reality. It's just not going to happen. And even though somebody's acting like a project manager, just because you're a project manager, it doesn't mean you can't be a good Scrum Master, but they're probably doing things that are really command and control. They're probably doing things like turning daily scrums into status meetings. And you want to try to address that with them. The question is, do you have the power to be able to address it with them? Are they open enough to be able to address it with them? Because by this time, they probably should know better. And I guarantee you they probably have heard enough about Scrum to have an idea what they need to do. But I would just probably have a one-on-one with them to see if we can address it in some kind of way. To see if we can address it in some kind of way. Does that make sense? So that's how I would go. But I'm gonna say this to you. Let me go with the Devon thing. Man, if I'm you, I would just get paid my money and let them do whatever they want to do. If they want to waste their time, if they want to waste their time being a project manager, running around with no power, trying to make people do things, make adults do things, then let them do that. Go about it and do what you need to do, right? So that's not the really buttoned up answer, but that's at some point you get tired of this mess, right? So I would be done. Okay. So anyway, so whoever joined us, they actually dropped off. So if you want to come back, please come back. But let's go ahead and take this off the screen so we're good to go. And let's just continue. Let's continue as people join us. We will allow them to join us. Let's see. I got another question here. What would be your top 3 recommendations for someone newly entering the Scrum profession? You know, that's a great question. So that's like a career changer, or you just coming out of college, right? If I'm you, what would be? Let me think about what I did and what would be most helpful for you. One thing I would say is carry the Scrum guide with you like it's the Bible. I mean, just carry it with you and keep that as something that's close to you so you can always remain true to the tenets. But the 3 pieces of advice that I would give you is you're not in it alone. What you need to do is you need to network with people. Because networking is going to actually help you in more ways. You'll start seeing what skills other people have. You'll also find other people in the same situation as you. Okay, so if you are newly entering the Scrum profession and you have a job, that's one thing. Okay, having a job means that you are already you're working with people there, and you take it from there. I would then find a mentor if I was inside of a job. So again, networking, get a mentor, find someone that can help you on the journey would be the first recommendation that I would give you. The second recommendation that I would give you is I told you to have that Scrum guide with you like the Bible, but don't treat it like that. Make sure that when you are implementing this thing on the ground, be flexible. Just really be flexible, right? Nobody is doing Scrum perfectly. Let me just tell you a secret. Nobody is doing Scrum perfectly. Okay, so everybody may talk like they do, but they don't. And don't let it fool you, right? So I would make sure I have a little bit of flexibility, so and then I'm not turning into like a command and control Scrum master, right? So be flexible. And the third thing that I would tell you, which is crazy, have fun. You know, you only get this one opportunity to be new, right? And whenever I'm new at something, I make sure everybody know I'm new. I ask all the newbie questions that newbies are generally going to ask. So make sure you have as much fun as you possibly can in this journey, okay? On that note, thank you. And we have someone that's here to join us, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull them on. Hello, how you doing?
What's going on? How are you?
You know, I'm living a good life. How are you?
I'm splendid. So many moons ago, I had the benefit of working with you on with Aaron Saunders, actually, that brought Scrum and the idea of Agile into what was design at the time at Motorola.
Yeah.
My big question for you, Devon, and this is not a nefarious question, just a super question. How do we transition into a product mindset when we have all of the ruminations and the processes of Scrum? How do we get our business partners to align to a model of Scrum, but through product design, through product? And this is coming from you have to excuse me, I am outdoors. It's 80 degrees in the city of Chicago.
You're good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So my question is how do we use Scrum? How do we use the methodology to align to product design and product? as opposed to just delivery, delivery, delivery.
Let me let me let me ask a couple questions. Okay.
Sure.
So first thing I want to say is that it was interested in Motorola. We had a really interesting time because Lenovo
Yeah.
came in and just
Oof.
kind of did what they did, right?
Oof.
But
Yeah.
good people trying to do
Yeah. Amazing,
something
great
good,
people.
right?
Yeah.
So that was an issue. So it is what it is. Um, Here's what I'm gonna say, man, and this is really really.
Well, I'm outside of that now. I'm in another space.
Well,
I'm in healthcare.
I know you outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. We're
Whew.
not worried about them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the deal. My problem with a lot of people that are inside of organizations is they don't really have no skin in the game.
Hmm.
So, when I was at Motorola, we were working on Moto Maker,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
and
With John and yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
With Moto Maker,
Yep.
there was skin in the
Yep.
game. A
Absolutely.
phone would get released, and we would know, at least phone get released, and that would turn sales into doing customizations on phones, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
there was some skin in the game. The question I would ask you first is whether those product people or business people deliver or don't deliver, whether they
Right.
do or they don't. Is there
What's
anything
the
that
what's the right like what's the accountability measure
what's the
that they have?
accountability?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you earlier in your statements you were like accountability, accountability. I'm like, yeah, man, yes, accountability. It's critical.
But that's
You
the
have to
problem.
have yeah, right.
If they don't have a way to be held accountable for their ideas and what
Hmm.
they're doing, then all they get to do is keep throwing requirements out there and see what sticks. You understand where I'm coming from?
Oh, you're preaching to the choir, my friend. Like, yeah, yeah.
So now,
It's like how does a product mentality? How do we
well,
use leverage a Scrum idea to anchor in?
I wouldn't even try to. Here's what I would do, and I would never use the word Scrum. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be the first thing.
Yeah,
But what I would do is I would find some business person or product person that is interested in the customer having success. If you
yeah,
can find somebody that's interested,
yep,
okay? So now you got
yep,
somebody in mind, right?
yep.
Now, one of the things that we were doing at Motorola, which I think it would be super beneficial here, is to think about doing dual track Scrum.
I
Now,
love your show. Well said. Yes, exactly.
now you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. Now, for
You
those,
validated you validated a large impetus of what I just yeah, right.
okay, good,
Yes.
good, good. Now,
Yeah,
for
you
those that don't
validated some
know,
strong
those that
yeah.
don't know, because everybody don't
Yeah.
know what dual track Scrum is.
No,
Um, Dual track Scrum is like running Scrum in one track and then running experiments in another track in parallel.
yes,
That's what
precisely.
that's like, right?
Yep.
And so you end up with two kind of like product backlogs. One is an ideas product backlog, and you
Yep.
just run tests on that, and those
Yep.
go into your real product backlog. And so, what I'm saying for you is what you should be mostly concerned about is the experiment track.
Yep.
And if you can get somebody to go on that journey with you on the experiment track, then what will happen is they will get something fed into the product backlog that gets delivered that causes excitement. That
Yep.
excitement gets them to start hitting and getting into the snowball effect where they want to see it more and more and more and more. Now,
Yep.
here's what I will say, and here's one problem that we had at that there was no way for me to address. Just make sure that when you have the things coming into that dual track, that you understand what the potential return on investment is,
Yeah.
whether it is revenue or whether it's
Right.
time saved, but you know what
NPS
that picture
scores,
is.
value, like all the yeah, 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 for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
how we classically will think if we actually release something, we look at it 3 years out or a year out to determine how much
Yeah.
value is going to give us, right?
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Make sure that you have those things backing up your ideas and then
Yeah.
try to get the most valuable stuff through the track and get something delivered on the other side. The sooner you can get something delivered on the other side, the sooner you
That's
start
where
increasing
you're
the excitement.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. No, no, I mean, and I'm going to advertise your broadcast
Mm-hmm.
to the folks that are on the phone. Um, not a planned experience, kind of a random experience, but
Mm-hmm.
delighted, and also super happy to reconnect with you because it's been
Been years.
7 years.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
2012,
7 years.
13.
So it's
Yeah.
super cool. I was like, well, I might as well just chime it, but also validating some of the intentions that I have with my team and the work that we're doing. So,
No,
Devon, that was
you have an agile
yeah,
mindset already. So what
yeah.
you're thinking isn't
It's
wrong. All I'm doing is just giving you a second.
yeah. No, it's validating the intention to make me feel better about walking into 8 o'clock in the morning to a leadership call to be like, this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
like it's the right way to do it. So
And truth is, if you need something, just email me, man. DM it,
I
BJ.
will, I will, I will.
Just
It's
hit me
been
up,
I
right?
mean, again, it's been a long time, but I've been tracking, and I think I found a new place for camaraderie.
Okay, good.
So
Well, this is good. Well, I will
yeah,
say this to you. You need anything else, just let me know because it sounds like you at least know what direction you're going in. What I would ask you
yeah,
to do is try this. You already know how to do it because we did it. And
yeah.
then let me know how it just come back and let us
I'll
know
bring
how it
you
went.
in, man. Like
Yeah.
I'll if we have if there's any friction, I'll be
And
knocking on the doors.
yeah, please do, because
Yeah,
hey, I love
I know,
Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so I love
I know you
Chicago.
are.
So I come back to Chicago
Hmm. Yeah,
anytime. No question, man.
I want to ask an
Yeah,
off-color question.
yeah.
Where did you get the Emperor Penguin?
That
Yeah.
Melissa and Doug.
Okay.
So at one point, let me tell you, right? This is crazy.
Well, it's very cool. You have an emperor penguin in your background. Like that's amazing.
Hey, here's the deal, right? I used to, like in 2007, 2008, I used to carry that penguin inside of companies with me. And I would carry the penguin and I would take the penguin to meetings with me and sit the
Yeah.
penguin up and people would let me do it in the company. I kid you not.
Yeah.
It is not a joke,
No, I
right?
don't. I don't doubt that at all.
And so
No.
I had this
Yeah.
little company. I had this little company back in the day that I called Little Leonardo.
Okay.
And I was selling wooden toys, and then there was also plush toys, right? And this
Uh,
is one of those toys. And then when I started consulting, my youngest daughter, she gave this to me for me to be safe on the road. And so literally, I was carrying that penguin. When I say everywhere, that penguin's been
no,
international
that's
and
adorable.
everything
That's
else.
great. That's a great story, man.
Oh
That's
yeah, yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but Melissa
Okay.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doug.
I know the brand. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I
so
know. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I got that, and that was years ago.
I
I
have.
still got it.
I've got a 12-ounce bottle of Red Seal
Uh huh.
Imperial Ale from like 2004
Okay.
that I'll never leave. It's always in my studio. It's always in my office. It's sitting behind the scenes, obviously, but it's my good luck charm. I don't know why. I've had it
Okay.
for God 20 years
Yeah.
ish, but it's an unopened bottle of IPA that it's
I
my
love it.
truth serum of whatever. Anyway, so it's
I love it.
awesome. So Devon, thank you. I appreciate your insights and I appreciate
No, I appreciate you because I
helping
love,
me help. Yeah.
man. You know how much I love. I loved that opportunity at Motorola. I thought we were doing great things, and it's
It
just
was
the culture got
it's an
crushed.
interesting ride for sure.
It
This is
was it
definitely
was interesting, man. I just knew we was gonna
yeah.
do some greatness, man, and we just could not. We just
Ah, people, you know what? We all, and for the folks on the
it's
call,
good
like
people.
not to wax poetic, but we all came out of it with a very interesting and holistic approach to software and product development. And I want to say that Devon and Aaron and some folks that really helped enable us
Hmm.
to lean into this mentality and this focus has carried through the last near decade of my existence. So I appreciate it.
No,
So
one last thing.
I'm gonna be on your calls from now on. By
No,
the way,
please do,
so
please do, because
ha
I like
ha
the
ha
problem
ha.
is
Ha.
I don't get a chance to talk about product stuff, right?
Yeah.
What I will say also is if you're gonna look at product stuff, go beyond the Scrum product people,
Oh yeah, for sure.
because
Yeah.
people out here got way more product knowledge and been doing all kinds of stuff. There's a whole area,
Product's a
right?
whole nother. I could
It's a whole thing,
if
man.
you want to workshop a conversation around what product is now as it was 10 years ago. Like, I'm very happy to open that up from a digital and physical perspective, because
You know
it's
what? We can
completely
do that. We
changed.
can we can have a conversation
Yeah.
like that. Every time I begin the
Yeah.
show, we take 15 minutes to talk about something, and that could be a topic,
Sure.
man. So,
Yeah.
hey,
I'm happy to support.
email
Absolutely.
me and let's talk about it.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Cool. So I've
All right, my
taken
brother.
enough of this time.
No, you
I
good. You
appreciate you,
good.
man.
You good. You good. You good. I got other questions we'll answer here, but we good to go.
All right.
So, brother,
All right.
I'll see
Cool.
you later. You need anything, reach out to me.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Appreciate you. All right.
Amazing call, y'all. Amazing call, right? I absolutely love that call because it just, you never know how you have an impact on people, and I try to be honest in all my interactions with people. I don't try to fake that I know something that I don't know. But it was, man, we was having a good time, man, and we really was trying, man. And sometimes you just have no control over what management will or the organization, the direction that they go in. But man, it was a good people there, man. When I say good people. And I hate when I love running into good people. I love when we do things. I hate when it gets cut short, right? I hate when it gets cut short. But anyway, that being said, I appreciate you for joining us. We'll talk again soon, okay? Let's go ahead and answer some more questions here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw another question up. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop it in the chat, okay? I'm going through to start answering questions now. If somebody comes on, you know how it works. How to get started with Scrum. Dave, look, let me tell you something. Just start. I mean, I know that's a hard thing to say, just start, but it is just start, right? Literally, man, I use Scrum for my workout routine. Like every Wednesday, I have a sprint, and I start off with a goal that I'm trying to achieve for that particular week, and then I determine what exercise I'm going to do to meet that goal. And it really boils down to me having a planning session. I'll have a sprint, I'll have a review, and a retro to determine how I'm going to get better. I don't have daily scrums, but literally, if you really think about Scrum, well, let me just say it to you. This is how I think about Scrum, and you should be able to apply this, Dave, to just about anything. I think about Scrum as being a time box plan that you evaluate on a daily basis, and you learn about what you built, and you learn about how to get better, and then you do it again, right? And so literally that's all Scrum is. If you pull all the other things and just call the other stuff fluff, that's all Scrum is. It is nothing more than just that, okay? So for me, you can just get started. Now, let me give you the I own a company answer. Come on, join our Certified Scrum Master class. And we put those classes on at least once or twice a month, so then you come, pay us about $1,000, and we will certify you and make sure you become a Certified Scrum Master. You can also take that route. But you don't need a certification, man, to do Scrum. There's this 14 to 16 page guide, depending on which year you grab, called the Scrum Guide. And all you have to do is follow what's in the Scrum Guide. That's it. That's all you need to do. It doesn't require certification. Now, your question is probably, how do I get a job? Certifications help with that. Certifications help you with money, okay? So if you're talking about trying to make money, then I would recommend getting some certifications. Of those certifications, the CSM is the oldest of them. It is the most recognized of them. I'm a certified Scrum trainer. I'm the first Black certified Scrum trainer on the planet. So I'd love for you to come join me in a class at some point in the future. But man, don't come join me in a class until you're ready. Because you know what? Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I don't like to get nobody the certified Scrum Master if they go embarrass me on the street. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're going to try to come get this certification and you're not going to do what you're supposed to do with that certification, then I don't even want you to talk to me, man. I don't want you to talk to me. You know what? Everybody who understand what I'm saying, who know this experience with me, say amen in the chat. Because you know I will have a fit. You know I will have all kinds of fits, right? Seriously, right? So it's one of those things. If you don't come get it from me, hey, I stand on the shoulders of Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland, right? And a lot of other great people that exist that have sprinkled a little something on me. So if I'm going to sprinkle anything on you, you better do something with it. Anyway, it's not difficult to join Scrum. You're always welcome to come get a certification. I'll see you on the Agile journey, my brother. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue talking, right? I obviously have more questions. Let's see. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's see. Let's see. Jackie, you have a question. Let's see. I am a CSM through Bearded Eagle. What are your thoughts on DASM cert? Is it necessary or beneficial to obtain? I would believe, I'm assuming that's disciplinary agile Scrum Master. My statement to you is this: why get a parallel Scrum Master certification? I don't understand. I became a CSM and then I became a PSM many, many years later, right? A professional Scrum Master. But I only became a professional Scrum Master to support Ken Schwaber. That was the reason why I did it. You would never see me have my PSM on any resume. It's only CSM. So I don't understand the logic of having multiple same level or what I'll call lateral certifications. Now, if the lateral certification is because you are working within that certification set. So, for example, the company's doing SAFe and they want people to be SAFe certified and be Scrum Masters. It makes sense for you to get a Scrum Master through the SAFe people, because that is going to have the special stuff associated with SAFe just kind of, intertwined in it, right? So that makes sense. So if you're doing PMI stuff, disciplinary agile, I'm assuming that you're doing a whole range of that stuff. But for me, having lateral certifications make no sense. It makes no sense to me. You already have a CSM. Why do you need a lateral certification? I don't know. If you got it, but you may have a reason for it. And and my only reason would be I have a company that's working in that group of certifications and they value it some kind of way, right? So that's the way I would say that, Jackie. So kind of move on up. What I would say, right? Go become an advanced CSM. Right? That's what you need to do. Come on back and become an advanced CSM. Okay? Stop with all these lateral moves. You understand? So thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I'm not trying to be mean here, but I'm telling you, man, if I was spending my money, I would not jump and grab a lateral certification if I'm spending my money. If I'm spending my money, I'm not jumping and grabbing a lateral certification unless I need to, because it's going to help me be marketable in some kind of way. That's what I would do. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If it don't, then it's okay. Let's see. Patrick said it's worth it if you're trying to expand your agile knowledge to be framework agnostic. And I'm good with that. And I'm already framework agnostic. I really am more about the Agile Manifesto and its values and principles. But I'm not going to get multiples across the board. Like I'm not collecting Scrum certifications. Some people out here collect certifications, but Patrick, that's a good piece of advice. And I would advise you take Patrick's advice on that as well. Because I'm not the only great person out here, right? There's this bunch of people way greater than me, just way greater than me. So you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Please drop them in the chat because we're talking. But yeah, I'm thinking to myself like, I'm a PMI ACP, right? I took the PMI ACP when it first came out, when they allowed the first 6,000 people to take it. So I took the PMI ACP when it was in pilot mode. You understand? This is how long it's been. I had that PMI ACP. Now, do I really let everybody know I have PMI? Some of you all have fully, wholeheartedly trained with me in class. Did I mention the PMI ACP? I'm not saying anything's wrong with the certification. I'm not saying anything's wrong with DASM. I'm not saying anything's wrong with any of that stuff, right? But I don't get lateral certifications, right? And I could be crazy. You tell me. I get certifications so I can make money or impress somebody. Like I got a whole bachelor's degree so I can impress my grandmother, right? She raised me. So I want to impress her, right? But the idea is you're going to impress somebody or you're trying to make some money. If you're not doing it for one of those two reasons, then I don't know why you're doing it. So anyway, all right, let's continue. Y'all. Let's continue. Shanita Jones, should I have CSM cert with my safe certs? Yeah, it's gonna help. My statement is use your certs to make money. That's it. It is no question. Use your certs to make money. Period. So I would tell anybody, I don't have a problem with safe. I don't. Do I think it's quite prescriptive? Yes. Do I think that some organizations need all that prescription? Yes. Do I think they're going to follow that prescription? No, right? But if I was in the market today, literally, I would get a CSM and I'd make sure I get my safe certifications and I would pair them up. That's what I would do. Because I think that's how a lot of people are jumping out and making money, because who's using safe? Big organizations. Who's hiring a lot of Scrum kind of people? Big organizations. If I'm brand new to Scrum, guess where I'm trying to go? A big organization. You know why I'm trying to go to a big organization? Because I can hide in there. Literally. I could be the Scrum Master that don't know a lot, and I'm hiding inside the organization because the organization is so big they can't track everybody right. So I could be a mediocre Scrum Master and be inside a big organization because they're going to be Scrum Masters better than me. So for me, I'm going to get that safe certification because I'm trying to hit a big company up, and they're going to pay me decent enough too. So that's how I think, but maybe you think differently. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not telling you to do something that is shady. You understand? I'm not saying do nothing shady. But if it's me, I would make sure I pair up my certifications in any way that would make me money. Am I crazy? You know that's true, right? Hey, this is the Unfiltered Call-In Show. That's what it is. All right, let's see what else is up, y'all. Let's see. I was wondering the same thing. Yeah, look, I know you talked about getting lateral certifications. Yes. Be careful. There's lots of people out here trying to get your moolah, right? So be careful, Jackie, for real. All right, so let's see. Let's jump. Let's talk. Which certs are benefits to obtain when actively applying for jobs? I would think differently. I think that's the wrong way to think. Right? You go get your certification, whatever your certification is going to be. But there are other things that you need to do. You need to practice your interviewing skills. You need to skill up or make sure that you look like you know what you're supposed to know. So, for example, you should know and read some books related to Scrum. Why do I say that? Because it's likely that people that you're interviewing, if they know anything about Scrum, they may have read some books, right? You should be doing things to get yourself through the interview process. Does that make sense? You should be doing things to get yourself an interview, okay? A lot of times you got to get yourself to the table, and if you can get them the right personality, you can win them even though you may not have everything else that someone else has. So I would recommend that you, first and foremost, make sure that you customize your applications to jobs where you are a 80 to 90% match for those jobs. Now, there are tools out here to do those kind of things. There are people that can show you how to do those things. But literally, last year I applied for a job, right? And I really did apply for a job. I was serious about this job. And when I did the match and I grabbed my resume, and I'm a guy that I don't update my resume at all. Like I've been in Scrum a long time, and I've never been unemployed, not by choice. Do you understand that statement? And another thing I've done is rarely updated I don't update my resume at all. But last year, I pulled it out, and I literally probably hadn't updated my resume since I was at Motorola, right? Literally, I kid you not. Literally, that's what I'm saying. I kid you not. And so what I learned in that process is that my resume was like a 30% match. I'm a certified Scrum trainer, and I went and put my resume up against and use tools to compare my resume to the job, and I was like a 30% match. I was depressed. Let me tell you, hear what I just said to you. Have any of you all ever been in a situation where you are doing something and you know you're good, and then you start doing it, and then you get depressed because it really shows you how you're not that good? So I put it was depressing. I almost quit applying for the job. So you want to find ways to match yourself to those jobs and give them information about you that shows you're a match. 80-90% match, because what's going to happen for you is that the applicant tracking system will kick you out. Okay, and one of my guys here, Bearded Eagle alumni, John Signo, he does work with the PMI Dallas chapter, and he does a brand and land class. So look up a guy named John Signo. Last name is spelled Signo. Okay, if you look up John Signo and look up brand and land, PMI Dallas, he's likely doing a class. He seems to do it every month or so, maybe $50 or something like that. 5 hours of solid content. I would go there and learn how to get through the applicant tracking system, okay? And then I would I would truly bolster my interviewing skills. It's one thing to get the job, to get to an interview. It's nothing to get through the interview. So I'm not going to recommend a ton of certifications for you, right? Get your CSM, go get a SAFE certification, and then, do all this other stuff, right? But if you're going to go get a CSM, make sure you get it from somebody who know what the hell they're talking about, like me. Anyway, I know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. You can get it from somebody else. No, I'm lying. Don't come get it from me. But anyway, the getting yourself through the system, the applicant tracking system, is just as important. And being able to land the interview and get through the interview is the other side of it, right? So just getting the certs is one thing, is the point, right? You got to make sure that you match up very well with those opportunities. It's probably the biggest thing I would tell you. So hopefully, Amber, that helps out. Hopefully that helps out. So I think that is going to be the wrap for us. Here's the deal. I'm going to say to you all, really very simple. I love you. I always appreciate everybody that shows up pretty much on LinkedIn and on YouTube. I would recommend that you come on, join YouTube. Make sure you should subscribe. Make sure you like. If you enjoyed anything about this, just click on the like button, right? Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, people. And you're going to actually help me get there. Let other people know about this show, please, because I would like for it to grow. I would like to see, more people get their questions answered. And again, this information is always available to you. That's the reason why we're doing it this way, so then we can make sure that we create a base of knowledge out there that people have access to. So hopefully you found something of value in the show today. If you did, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Throw it in the chat. Throw me a thumbs up in the chat, right? And I want you to throw me a thumbs up in the chat. I don't want you to thumb up the thing. I don't want you to give me the like. Give me a thumbs up in the chat so I can see it and say I appreciate you. But on that note, it's been a good one. I'm going to thank you all. Make sure you say bye to me. Patrick, it is always great to see you. I seen Shanita in here. Amber, you had some great questions. Let's see, Jackie. I saw Jackie. Let's see, who else did we see here today? We saw some LinkedIn people, and their names did not show up. So I can't tell who's on LinkedIn, but everybody out there on LinkedIn, hey now, how you doing? How's it been going? So that being said, we always do the show this way. Next week, what are we talking about next week? Man, I actually got the topic. I got a whole list of topics for like 2 months. So let me double check here, and let me let you know about the topic for next week, and then we'll be good to go. So our topic for next week is going to be lack of leadership involvement. So we're going to talk about leaders that are not involved next week. So make sure you join us next week. It's going to be an amazing show. I could have been in Chicago doing this show. I got a few thumbs up. So Hernando, thank you. Other than that, everybody, I'm going to say, look, have a wonderful night. I appreciate you. It's been a pleasure. I always enjoy it. And on that note, I'm going to say, hey, peace. I'll see you soon. Everybody, have a good night. Okay?